What is up, everybody? Skratch coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Welcome to the channel, everyone. Hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I'm here with breaking juicy news, and I'm not sure how to receive all this information that I've just seen. Like, positive, negative, I guess we're gonna have to wait and find out before we literally jump on it to kind of like judge everything that will happen in-game at some point, maybe this week, maybe next week. But basically, there are a few things that look a bit worrying, right? So you've seen, probably for the last few days, the last couple of weeks, they've been pushing the Soulstone packs like crazy, right? Like, whenever you click on offers, you're gonna find a new Soulstone pack. And recently, with the so-called anniversary, the prices went down quite a bit. And that's been like this for almost a week now. The prices are much, much better for the Soulstones. Recently, they announced the so-called nerf for the Polymorph Blessing, which kind of like empowers the 6-star Blessing instead of actually nerfing the Blessing all around. So it's a bit unsettling, right? Well, let me just show you a couple of different things. So if you head over to your mobile device, or if you go on BlueStacks, just go to the App Store and just write Raid Shadow Legends, right? And you're gonna see you can actually update the game, which is interesting. But then if you're scrolling down a little bit, you're going to be able to kind of like see what is happening in the game. You know, let me just see, why is it not showing it for me anymore? But basically, okay, so we gotta click on it right here. And what's new? We're gonna see exactly what's coming to the game. So new in 7.21 features Soul Chase Tournament. You know how we have the champion chase tournaments where you're able to summon champions and get rewards? Well, guess what? They're gonna make tournaments for Soulstones. Save your Soulstones, basically. Don't waste Soulstones anymore, because we're gonna have tournaments. I'm not sure how rewarding they are going to be and stuff, but seems like it's coming. Get as many souls as you can to earn points and get your hands on some great rewards. What rewards? I have no idea. If summoning events kind of like reward you with Soulstones, will a Soulstone events reward you with shards? Who knows? Maybe they're gonna put in a legendary champion to start with, so they see which one of the persons can wail more on Soulstones. That can happen as well. Then, Soulstone Rush. Earn event points by summoning souls from Soulstones. So I feel like it's gonna be in the exact same way. You wanna do the chase, you're gonna need to have the small Soulstones. You wanna do the Soulstone Rush, you're gonna need the bigger Soulstones in order to complete that, in order to get more points. Then, I don't know how to feel about it, right? Like, let me know what you guys think about it. Are you excited to get something like this? I feel like you're gonna open them anyway. Getting an extra event for them is not necessarily gonna be a bad thing. I don't necessarily think that is amazing, but I don't think it's a bad thing. You know, like, hey, you're getting new events for opening Soulstones. That means that we're gonna have to save the Soulstones every time and just wait for events instead of just bursting through them. I do hope they will be during the week instead of weekends, like we have the summoning ones for shards, you know, so you have something to do during the week as well. Now, there are a few other unsettling things that I found in here, right? So the next thing that we have coming in the feature is turn attack tournaments. Clear dungeons in as few turns as possible. Earn more points by tackling higher stages. So this is gonna be hard for a lot of people. I'm not sure how they're gonna value the turn count, how many points you're gonna get if you're doing a dungeon in, like, I don't know, 50 turns, 100 turns, and how many points you're gonna get if you're doing a dungeon in 1,000 turns. Is it gonna be worth it for the people that have super slow dungeon teams to even engage in this sort of events? Are the rewards gonna be worth it, or is just kind of like a meh way in doing it? This is definitely an event that is kind of like aimed more at high-end players, end-game players, high spenders that have crazy champions, crazy teams for dungeons, you know. So I feel like it's kind of aimed towards that, you know. Now, if it's gonna be kind of like designated to specific dungeons, like do the spider, it's gonna be fairly decent for the majority of people, because most of you guys will have fairly decent teams for the spider dungeon. If we're talking about Fire Knight, if we're talking about the Dragon, where the teams take quite a few turns, yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting. This might, in a way, kind of like bring in new strategies to some of the dungeons. You might want to build your team slower and do different sort of things, so you take less turns while you're still doing higher damage than before. So very, very interesting to see how this will play out. The main thing that is important, in my opinion, is bring good rewards and just ensure that most of the people will be able to kind of like participate in them. Like, don't do a massive penalty for doing high turns in a run, basically, you know, so the people don't feel left out. Like, I know they do need to have events for new players, for mid-game players, for the end game players, and kind of like separate them in a way or another, and just try to kind of like land them based on levels and things like this. This could be a pretty interesting thing as well, but it's nice to ensure that whatever events they are bringing to the game will be kind of like accessible for the majority of the player base, basically. Then the most concerning thing that I see here, which I have no idea what exactly it will mean, level 6 blessings now grant additional stat bonuses. So that means that 6-star blessings are getting a buff, every single one of them. And you go and tell me that it's not about... Yes, in a way it's good. If you have a 6-star blessing, you go lucky to pull one, amazing. Your champion will become even more powerful. That's the good thing. The bad thing is that they want to get more money. They want to make people spend more money to get the 6-star blessings. You know why? Because how I mentioned in the video where we talked about the polymorph nerf and things, I explained to you, a lot of people stopped spending money on Soulstones because you're not getting anything out of it. Like, you can literally spend $1,000 on Soulstones and get nothing else but essence, because you're gonna end up in selling pretty much most of those stones, souls that you're getting, because nothing is of high value. It's very hard to get a 6-star soul, it's very hard to get a 5-star soul, and it's almost impossible to hit the wish list when we are talking about Soulstones, you know. So a lot of people kind of like understood, okay, this is just not a great thing. Like, yes, it's amazing to get a Soulstone, it's a massive boost in terms of stats and in terms of power all around, but it's so hard to get them. So once you reach a particular stage where you have kind of like Soulstones for the majority of your champions, like, let's just say we're looking at my account, right? So this feature has been in the game for, I'm not sure exactly how long, but it's getting close to a year anyway. So basically, this is what I have so far on my heroes, right? And I've spent money. It's not like I went free to play on it, and I had to purchase most of them to a higher star. Like, the highest thing I've pulled was a 5-star Baron, and that was straight after I pulled the I bought the 4-star from the shop, and that was a big waste all around. But it's pretty hard to get them. That's kind of like my point. Like, to get something of very high value is extremely unlikely. You gotta be extremely lucky as well. I feel like extremely has been in my vocabulary for this video quite a bit, you know. And if they are actually buffing the 6-star blessings, empowering the Krakens even more, so all the people that spent tens of thousands of dollars to get all the champions at 6 stars, and of course they needed to have some crazy luck, they're basically just getting more empowered. And out of nowhere, unannounced, like, I don't think this was a necessity whatsoever. The blessings are desired, are powerful, but it's kind of like hurting their income now. Why? Because people settled for 1-star, 2-star, 3-star blessings. That's why they are changing this. That's why they changed the polymorph. That is the most broken blessing in the entire game, and the only way to make the Krakens that play Arena to try and go and get a higher star for that blessing and for the rest of them was by empowering it and making it powerful at 6-star and making it less valuable at the lower stars, basically, or at least giving you the illusion that it's going to be much weaker if you don't have it at a 6-star. And people will jump to kind of like spend more money on Soulstones now, and we have all these good offers for the last few days. It's kind of like connected, man. So I'm not sure how to feel about getting the extra stats. How I mentioned, if you're lucky to have some 6-star blessings on your heroes, is great. Yes, you're gonna get them more powerful, but if not, basically the gap in between players is gonna become even higher. Okay, if it wasn't high enough before, considering that they had the 6-star blessing already, which, yeah, was powerful enough the way it is. So is basically just to make people spend more money on Soulstones. That's why we have events. That's why we're having these buffs, unannounced buff on a 6-star blessing. So I'm very curious to see how big is going to be the buff on them. What sort of additional stats you are gaining at 6-star. Like, I'm extremely, extremely curious. Let me just put it out there and just say something stupid. 6-star blessing on Hookers will give you more crit rate, more crit damage, will give you more attack, will give you something so stupid that will make everyone to jump on it and to try and get them. That's kind of like how I feel. But hey, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Moving over to the next thing. A new champion has joined Teleria. New champion lore has been added, and artifacts set rebalance, which I have no idea what that means. I have no idea about what sets they're talking about. I guess we're gonna find out whenever this comes, the patch. What is it today? Tuesday. They usually release the patch on Thursday, right? Not tomorrow. So probably this patch is gonna drop in Thursday. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you excited about Soulstone events? I feel like those are definitely not a bad thing. Like, I'm positive about getting events, to get new events while you're opening your Soulstones. Why not? More free stuff, basically. Let me know what do you think about the turn attack tournaments. They seem to sound pretty interesting, right? I'm curious to know how they kind of like value the short turn teams and the ones that they have a very long turn interaction with the dungeon. I do hope they're gonna be kind of like accessible for the majority of the player base. Let me know your thoughts on the buff on level 6 blessings. Do you think something like this was needed or not really? We don't know the stats yet, but just looking at it and just everything that is been happening for the last 1 or 2 weeks, I feel like it's going to be something pretty disgusting, but we're going to have to wait and find out. New champion, artifact set rebalance. We don't know what exactly is going to be, but I'm very curious to know that as well. And yeah, that was all for this video. Much love, appreciate all of you guys watching, and I'll catch you all soon in the next video. Peace.